We're here on the bench with Sandy Marshall again.
And Jeffrey.
And the Stan Witherden seat. How lovely to have a memorial.
A memorial.
That's like a menorah, that candlestick, but it remembers you. Memorial. No, the sun is shining. No, it's loud out here. No, there's children playing. Yep. But we're going to go for it anyway.
Half-term week, lots of kids in the playground. It's lovely.
It's part of well-being is getting out, isn't it? That's what you said with Paula.
Yes, it is. And just sitting here in the sun, doing this, watching the kids play, watching Dad run around from one kid to the other, keep pushing the swing and doing the roundabout. I also said I like watching other people exercise, didn't I?
You did.
So this is bliss for me, actually. Kill two birds with one stone.
We're not exactly on the sofa, couch potatoes, watching some athletics, but that Dad is doing a good workout, isn't he?
He is. He's doing himself proud.
A beautiful day. Beautiful day to explore the last two. What we're going to do is something strange this week. We're going to do Jamie's last session tomorrow, and so the last session is today. Does that make sense? Yeah? The vessel with the vessels and the chalice with the palace, with the flagon with the dragon, also prove that it's true.
Isn't there something about a pheasant plucker? No,
that's another one.
That's another one.
And then Polly, the parrot, behind the door. Anyway, last two.
Last two. Acceptance. Self-acceptance.
How real are we going to be?
Yeah, we can be real. Been struggling with that a bit this weekend.
Yeah.
A few tears this morning. Just not feeling my mojo at the moment.
It's very, very interesting. When I was in the sixth form, I really do think I wasn't a rebel throughout my whole childhood. You know, I stuck my tongue out behind my mum's back. That marvellous moment when she said, that was God's punishment when I fell over my toy wheelbarrow. It was quite funny. I'm sure the angels were laughing. But I'd done something, I don't even know what I did. And I got hauled up before the head of lower six, whose name I so want to say and shame him because he should never have been a teacher. And he looked at me and he said, "You will never be any good." And that so resonated with my self-image of myself at the time. Here was an authority figure agreeing with my worst possible opinion of myself. Bang. Two of us in agreement. And I hope he's wrong. I hope I've done some good in life. But those people in our lives who go, "Could you mime in the school choir?" Or look at your artwork and go, "That's a lovely butterfly," and you go, "It's an aeroplane." All these little...
I think at a moment in my life like that, it wasn't a teacher, it was my dad. And I'd left school and I really wanted to get a mortgage. I was working really hard. I had two jobs. And my second job was working in a pub. And I have to say, it was quite a rough pub. They had doormen and they had loud music. Fights most Friday and Saturday nights.
Saturday nights are right for fighting.
Absolutely, but I didn't get involved in any of it. I was just behind the bar doing what I did and no problem. And then I did a sponsored walk. My dad used to be part of the Rotary Club locally. God rest his soul, I'm sorry to be rude about him.
Excellent organisation.
But he wrote me in and I said, yeah, I'll get a few sponsors and come and walk the walk. I mean, it wasn't that. And we finished off round the corner from the pub that I worked in. So they decided after this sponsored walk that they were all going to go and get a drink, all his Rotarian friends, but not in the pub that I worked in, into a really nice one round the corner. And on the way round, he took hold of my arm and he said to me, "Don't tell any of my friends that you work in that place."
Oh.
And so there's me, busting my backside, doing two jobs, trying to save up for my first mortgage and be self-sufficient and all the rest of it. And suddenly, I can't tell anybody that I work in that pub around the corner. And that crushed me. I have to admit, that absolutely crushed me.
Wow.
And I've got, even when Lauren, she went to work in McDonald's. And I have to say, I wasn't over the moon. I wasn't skipping around the living room. But do you know what? She went out, she got that job herself. I didn't go to, I took her up for the interview because it was over at Tower Park. She didn't want any sort of coaching on the way, but she did it all herself. She did the training all on her own. Then we went into lockdown and it shut down. So in the end, she finally got an apprenticeship somewhere else. But you know, I would never ever have dreamt of saying to her,
"No,
don't tell anybody you work at McDonald's."
Hopefully we can improve on the last model of parenting.
We try.
Lordy.
Not always successfully.
Lordy. So how can we fall in love with ourselves? How can we love ourselves first before we love others?
Do you know, I've got to be honest, Lex, I think it's a hard one. I think it's a really, really hard one because last week I was feeling really good and I was like in a really kind of like happy place. But sometimes all it takes is just a couple of things to happen and it just literally burst your bubble. And so over the weekend, I had a few days where I was at home and I really wanted to sit down and get some work done. And I'm sitting there at my computer, I'm writing this proposal and just full of self-doubt. Writing a PDF full of self-doubt. I mean, I wrote everything and then deleted it all, wrote it again, then read it all on Sunday and deleted it all again. And I mean, I'm back to square one and I'm really feeling that I'm not worthy of having a business.
Go and get a job.
Well, that's what I said to you this morning. I might just go and get a job. But in my heart, it's not what I want.
It's not the big difference you're going to make, is it? Which I think is the 10th thing, isn't it? Meaning,
the bigger picture, definitely. And I know somewhere deep down inside, I really believe that I can make a difference.
You can.
But sometimes telling myself that is really, really hard.
That's interesting because there's a principle from my background that says every matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So it's from a legal background where you couldn't say, well, that person did so and so and so and so, and they would believe them. You have to have the testimony of at least 2, ideally 3, witnesses, and I wonder if we can apply that to ourselves. So if your internal dialogue is going, oh, I'm no good at this, need to go and get a job, my big dream, my big vision, way over the top, but your two best friends, and they are, say, no, we believe in you, you just got to hang on in there, would that fill the bubble again? Who fills your bubble? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Right now, I think I have to fill my bubble. I have to listen to the people, like you say, my best friends, people that know me, people that understand what I want to do, and I just have to get that belief back. But what really gets to me is that it can just go from like, yes, I can do this, to, oh my God, what am I doing, to yes, I can do this. And it's like this roller coaster. And I wish I knew the answer. I wish I could sit here and say, yes, I have an answer to this. I don't, because I go through it myself. But I know that going through that is nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing. I love that I can come over to you on a Monday, we do our recordings, and you instantly pick up on what my mood is. And you don't make me talk about anything, but I know if I want to say blah, 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 I can. Everyone should have a Lex. And but yeah, I think ultimately you do it for yourself, but it's having the right support network to help you do it, to help you put the plug in to stop the water draining away.
I could see you filling your own bubble, but your good mates actually standing around you, facing outwards, keeping the people away who would.
Yeah, and if you stop filling, they just bang on your bubble and say, get on with it.
Come on. Yeah.
And sometimes that's in my head. That's how it works. That's how it works.
I think the important thing for you and me as well is to realise that we have evidence over decades of going through these troughs and coming out the other side better, stronger. Good old Nietzsche, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's horrible going through it, and you wonder about what motivates people. It's just.
But I think sometimes as well we talk about these sort of peaks and troughs, and they're like life-changing events. But I think sometimes we don't put enough emphasis on the kind of day-to-day, week-to-week way that we're feeling. Yeah. I mean, sitting here now, that poor dad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 kids over there, and he's still going strong, bless his heart, and he's jumping around. I mean, just watching him is making me smile.
Being out here and
and the sun and it's lovely, and I can already feel my mood lifting. But I know that later on something might happen, and I'll be like, oh, really?
Well, you did it there. I'm going to pick him on. What we'll do, folks, I think if you agree, is we'll make this today's Monday's broadcast. We'll do Jamie tomorrow, and we'll do the last point on Wednesday, because I think we should stay with this for a minute.
Yeah.
No, just do physically what you just did then. When something bad happens again today. Yeah, there you go. Now your bubble went.
Yeah, it's that deflation, isn't it?
It's deflation, isn't it? There's a friend you got there. Friendly leaf. It's one of the things I really love about understanding the way the mind and the body works together is that if you change your position physically, you change your mental position. You cannot resist this. It's very, very difficult to be depressed with your hands up and dancing up and down in the kitchen to Eurovision. I think it's impossible. It's not something I want to put to the test, but just the whole physiology is really important. I think I just realised I need a new coat. So just that 4-minute physical posture shift, and if you can get outside and get some air, it's way better than pharmaceuticals.
But also it's recognising when you need to do that. And I mean, we've talked about stress and anxiety and depression, and I know we've not sort of gone into any of those on any really sort of deep level, but when you feel a bit down in the dumps, I think you need to let yourself feel a little bit down in the dumps and then do something about it. It's like, not every time. I know today that I'm a bit down in the dumps, my mojo's gone, but I know
your energy's already shifted though.
Yeah, but I know I'm going to get it back. But it's like, sometimes I think to myself, well, why do I feel like that? Do you know what? I don't need to know why I feel like that. I don't need to analyse it. I just need to go with it, and then I need to know how to bring myself out of it and make myself feel better, and then do something about it. And that's completely different to clinical diagnosed depression.
Yes, yeah.
And I think people need to understand that. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how, I like Jamie's word, how content you are in life.
It's a great word, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And but there's always going to be times when you don't feel that for whatever reason, even if it's no logical reason. I mean, girl, hormones, PMT, all that. I mean, everything adds up. And the guys must have the same thing. So you can't be happy.
It's football NBC.
You can't be happy all the time. You can't be content all the time.
Oh, you'd be ill.
Yeah, and you'd be really annoying as well.
So there's a lesson in everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
And there is a moment of lowness. For both of us, it's family members at the moment who are really causing the pain. And of course, they're almost inside the bubble.
Yes.
And it's a tough lesson, but it's a powerful lesson. So if you want a bit of support, what do you think the purpose of these videos are for? To just say, look, we're here, we're going through stuff, we've been through stuff, we've survived, we've got stronger. We're here for you to talk to. That's the offer, I think, for both of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because
we didn't rehearse that.
No, we didn't. But sometimes just talking, just literally chewing the fat, which is really what we're doing.
Just listening.
Yeah.
I know when you're really upset. Don't talk. Don't fix you. Just.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm going to do that for you too.
Happy Monday.